And with this chapter, we get to see our precious little girl Noelle finally complete, I would say, and fully wrap up her own character arc, I would say, of her entire whole giant conflict with her family, with House Silver, and the fact that she is right at the end of this chapter able to do something on the same caliber of her own mother, Acia. So there's a lot to talk about, especially with this chapter and that final page of Black Clover with this one, with 176, because not only does it harken back to, I feel, a closure a lot for Noelle as a character, but it is also a very interesting design thing, as this is something we have seen previously before in a Yuki Tabata series, which I'm quite excited to talk about, especially with this is what she's decided to inherit from her mother. So let's just get and talk straight about this chapter, because immediately it was like we get to see with like her getting a bit of acknowledgement with like her brother Nozzle, where it was like we need to show him the power of the royal family and all that, like give us, like, show him what like the Silvers can do. And they're having a problem, like Nozzle's realizing this and all that, is like, because he's like, in this like enclosed space, we can't attack this girl, we like, or at least our long range attack just does not work this way, and all that. It's like, I can't bring up my sea dragon nest and all that, the area, like if I had like a mana skin, but the problem is like his Mercury magic can only extend so much, even with how powerful he is as a captain. He's like, I just need to like play safe with this. So it's like, no matter what, I need to buy time. And it's like, it was not until Nebra kind of like just started like screaming, and it was like, oh, we can't run away from this place and all that, we're trapped in here. And it's like, wait, what would those idiots do? And it's like, and then she's realizing, look, brother Nozzle, help me out here, like that. And she decides to flood the entire arena of like enclosed with water all around it. It's like, alright then, because you can't escape from here either, we're just gonna drown you out. Let's see who can hold out like their breath at all. The problem is like, I need to release this right away with my magic. I can't last in this. And the second that he did, like, Nozzle knew straight away, I need to go in, attack her, straight out, take her out right now, like with this speed. And it was like, immediately using that like diversion that Noelle was able to do, and it was like, we did it, we took care of it and all that. And it's like, oh, thank God and all that. It was like, you know, amazing, brother. But Noelle, she actually, you know, came through and like saved us, like, after everything. And Nozzle says it like a very interesting thing. It's just like, where he recognizes like that is a very, like, for a royal, the way you fight is incredibly crude and reckless way of fighting, but we won because of that. And it's like, he acknowledges that it's like, this is what you've attained since you've joined with the Bulls. So it's like, and he gets really personal with her, where it's like, I was afraid that like you look so much like our mother and all that, you would disappear from my end. And it's like, and I thought you would never become any stronger than you were, so we kept you off the front lines. That's just how it was. And even so, I was mistaken. So again, like, I'd like to point out especially that, like, with like, because there was a weird part about this, because then he's like, I'm sorry, and like he actually blushes a little bit about this, and especially with like the other two, with like with Nebra and Solid. Okay, Nozzle slightly, although he has said some shit to her in the past as well, and has mentally destroyed Noelle with a lot of her confidence, and ruined a lot of her. And there is no defense with Nebra and Solid. Those guys were just being pieces of shit. And there is a bit of hatred towards where it's like, you did technically take our mother away. And again, it's his own kind of way to justify it, where it's like, I was a shitty person, I acknowledge that. However, it was my own way of like, I don't want to lose the person we had again, even that you look so much like her, you act like her, like, because that's the thing, Noelle didn't have that experience. She doesn't know anything really like about her mother, apart from what Melodiona has told her about, and what she has been told about her family, apart from like, you're the one that killed her, she died giving birth to you. And I was like, then as soon as like that happened and she had this nice touching moment, that piece of shit, like, Klaus's sister gets up again, and is like, I can't believe this, like, carelessness. Like, it's like the giant compass is wrapping the whole area and stab, like 3 of these blades just go straight through, like, Nozzle after, like, he had this, and it's like, I'm just gonna, you will never drown me here, how dare you, know, like, give up, repent your sin, like, screaming, and it's like, after this, like, and even Noelle says this about Nozzle, Solid, and Nebra, where it's like, I don't have those good memories. Even though, like, Nozzle recognized me and he finally, like, acknowledged what I've done, but it's just like, no matter what, these are my siblings. And what does she do with this? This pulls out a new magic spell for her, and she is able to pull out her mother's magic. She's able to do her own version of the Valkyrie dress, which we get to see. And there was a part of me where it's like that, like where I feel like this wraps a lot of Noelle's character arc up, because again, like with that, like she's now going to try and, if anything, try to fix this broken like family that she has. And there's not a lot more that you can go with Noelle as a character apart from her stuff with like the Black Balls and Aster, and like it's interesting because like there's been interviews recently with Tabata talking about the length of this series, where it's like where it could go, and there was one where it's like you could potentially say it could go on as long as Naruto, it could go as like 700 like chapters, something crazy amount on there, and it's like, and it feels weird because also we've got so many characters in this series, but it's like to think of like one of the main like characters, or at least one of the characters we see the most of, and it's like feel like wrapping up. Obviously, she is nowhere near as powerful as what her mother was, and she still lacks the mental fortitude, from what it sounds like, of her mother, and like some like especially as someone like Nozzle, she's not on that level. But it's like I feel like it wrapped up a lot of things about it. Clearly, she still has a lot to do against like a lot of her siblings to kind of fix that, and especially as well the father. The father we still don't know a lot about, like on there, but when we saw the actual dress, it is completely the same as Asia's. It is like down to the T, the little like going down the crown on her, like the rose on there, like she has the spear. The only difference is like, whilst like with what we can tell with Asia's is a lot more like Nozzle's ability, where it's a lot more like kind of like this more silver mercury magic kind of like type one that she's able to equip to herself, like on there. I believe like her general one was steel, like I believe like it is steel, mist, water, like with how everyone works in the family is Asia was steel. We've also got like out like Noelle's water, Nozzle mercury magic on there. We've got mist magic, and like it's solid. I believe like with what we see with his magic, his is the same. It's like water magic, same as Noelle. It's just that his one is a lot. He can control it a lot more and turn it more into like sort of animals and serpents and like eagles and stuff like that. That was more like what he could do. And when I go back and I looked at this design and I thought a lot more about it, and I was like, we have seen this before. One of like the templates that Noelle was designed off was in Tabata's first original series, which was Hungry Joker, which a lot of the designs for Noelle came from a character known as Vivian, and Vivian actually had this steel like enhancement inside of her, where it was like she was pretty much like how Asia, and she had a design like this where it is a combination of this Valkyrie dress mixed in though with like the Charlotte helmet that they had on there. I thought that was a nice little kind of like reusing stuff that he never really got to fully extend on, which is like, because I know a lot of people go out where it's like, oh, you're reusing stuff, and I'm like, well, Hungry Joker lasted like what 20 odd chapters, and they never got to really extend on some of that. We only saw like snippets of stuff like this, and it's a lot more impactful now because like this is someone like that we'd seen for like over 3 years, and see where she was in the first couple of chapters compared to where she is now, and she's fully growing that. And again, like the dress and all that is something like interesting, where it's like she's now got a close combat spell. Like everything that we've seen of Noelle has been long ranged. It's been like the sea dragons, like, you know, cradle ability, the sea dragons roar, like they've all been these kind of abilities, and now she's finally gotten something that she can fight up close and personal, and it's just like, and she was like, I can't hit my long range, I can't manipulate complex magic, but what if I go closer and closer and denser, and it's just like she condenses this entire magic. And again, it's like when they see this, and with like the siblings as well, it's like, this is like, you are the exact image of your mother now. You've fully become Asia in your own way. And it'll be interesting that Metaviona, like, I would really like if like that comes to a point where it's like they have another kind of training thing, and she trains her and she sees that ability. And remember like especially that like Asia like on that was able to beat her every single time, even at a disadvantage. And it's like, now that like Noelle would have an increase in like sort of the water versus the fire thing, it's like she could do hopefully a lot more. Like if she can fully master this like a mother could, then this would be a very strong ability that she has like on there. But yeah, like I said, there was a lot to say about this chapter, and I felt like I feel weird that in its own way this is I feel like it is tying a knot on Noelle's character, unless there is more to her, because she fully has confidence now. She fully, as well as being recognized at least by her elder brother, although his reasons of, or at least his ways of like, I'm protecting you, so I'm sending you this way and kind of abandoning you from the family, is his own weird way of doing it and all that. Like, no matter what, you can't defend Nebra or Solid. They were just absolute pricks. It's just, he had his own way of doing it, and again, it's a little weird, like, in its own way. So I'm not too sure how I feel about the nozzle part in this chapter. Like, I did like this chapter, but it's like, just how it's phrased a little bit, I think, how it was. Maybe if it's handled a little bit more, like, say, in the anime, if we get to this part, which it seems like we would potentially be getting to the tournament, if anything. So I don't know if we're going to be seeing this stuff in the anime overall, but we'll have to wait and see until, like, that's it. I would love to see this finally being, like, animated and all that, because it's a really nice design. I do like the actual, like, Valkyrie design that she has. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But that is all for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.